If an agent tells you, if you talk to an agent and they have a process, you need to not work with them.
Like run because...
I would love to have an agent who has a process, has a system, and has a proven track record of if you do this way, it works.
So the 4 Ps is something that I came up with. The first really is... Welcome back. One day we'll have a studio, Jen.
I know.
We'll just sit back and fucking flip-flops. And
I mean, I'm still going to have to be the one. Well, I'm still in flip-flops. I can't see.
Although you didn't like the...
That was a bad angle.
Yeah.
Check back on our old episodes when we were in the other room in Seth's house in the chairs.
Yeah, I don't think it was a good angle for anybody.
No. What'd you call yourself the other day?
Chinify
yourself?
I told our editor, I was like, I get the vantage point's not good. I had to unchinify myself. So get my double chin out of you.
All right, well, this one's your idea.
This is my baby, man. And we're going to start, actually, I'm excited to announce we're going to start giving talks locally about this.
By the time this comes out, we'll probably have already done
it. Yeah, and I'm bringing that in for a landing. But it's what's called, and I started using this with clients, which is like kind of the 4 Ps to win a bidding war. Do you want to try to guess what the 4 Ps are?
I already read them.
You read them, but you closed your laptop. So do you remember what they are?
Preparation. I can't read that far. Even with my contacts. Preparation, process, people,
and
the
most important part.
Did I say process?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. What is it? All right.
Persistence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
That's just built into my DNA. What can I say?
Yeah. So guys, 4 Ps of winning a bidding war. I have found that a lot of clients are interested in like kind of making this a thing, like kind of explaining it in a certain way. So I kind of was able to come up with this. I remember hearing a realtor talk about this, about how like people who don't have like a process, they don't have like a way of doing it, or that if they do, like you should run. And I think it's terrible advice.
I would really like to know what the average person's thought is on that. If an agent tells you, if you talk to an agent and they have a process, you need to not work with them.
Like run because...
Does that make sense? It bewilders my mind because that makes absolutely no sense to me. I would love to have an agent who has a process, has a system, and has a proven track record of if you do this way, it works.
Yeah, I think this agent's point was that it's like everything I do is like customized for the agent or customized for the client. I'm like, yeah, but
every interaction and every transaction is different, but the processes are the same.
Yeah. So what do I always say? I always say it's like every transaction is different, but they're the same. Yeah. You know, it's like you do enough transactions. There's very few curveballs for me these days. You know. Like there's stuff that happens. I still learn new things every day, but I really try to bring people into a process, and we try to bring people into a process. So it's like, it's just, things are like a little calmer.
Yeah.
Because you already, you're buying a house, maybe you're selling a house. Like there's a lot of things that like, we're not going to be able to help you with, which is like, we can help you with like staging and organizing, but like you have to do a lot of the heavy work here. So I try to bring people into a process where things are a little bit more measured, a little less chaotic. So the 4 Ps is something that I came up with. I actually approached my networking group and my Chamber of Commerce, and we're probably going to start giving this talk because there's a lot of people who just don't understand, or they're just kind of demystified or mystified about how this process works. So the first really is preparation. And we've talked about that on this podcast a million times. Jesus.
And we'll continue.
And we will continue. And I talk about this in my social media posts. And I talk about this pretty much all the time, which is getting prepared to purchase a property. And guys, like this isn't about like a month ahead of time. Like this is about having conversations a year, 2 years out.
Once the thought enters your mind.
Once the thought enters, is like, it is not a waste of our time getting prepared, getting with a lender.
And what do I always say?
Yeah. Yeah. You get to use your say.
There's never such thing as too early, but there is such thing as too late.
Yeah. And I mean, if you take this preparation piece, I mean, you really gotta eat it like how you eat an elephant. One bite at a time.
He got it.
I got it. I didn't get it on that last one.
Episode, he said that he had 20 minutes
I
to figure out how
I totally forgot about it.
You did it.
No, so it's funny because this podcast, we've got our little...
We got to make a new logo for this. It just needs to be an elephant. And nobody's going to get...
Should we just rename the team the Elephant Team?
No, we shouldn't.
No. So, but yeah, we should. Yeah. So breaking down the preparation process, we have questionnaires. We've got questions outside of that we can ask you. You can get lined up with a lender, get an idea of what you need to budget for. See what's out there, see what you can actually afford. And then if you want to wait 2 years, wait 2 years. Like I have people sitting around my MLS who've been in the, I think some of them are way too long, but getting out and just really getting an idea and prepared for what awaits you is super important. The next is people. And like we've talked about this too, man, like you got to work with A players, man. I mean, there's a lot of agents out there. We're shedding every month about 25 to 30,000 licensed realtors in this country now. Woo. And that comes a lot from the fact that the market has completely corrected. And there's less.
I wouldn't say that's a little bit of a dramatized.
No. The real estate business has absolutely corrected.
You said the real estate market has completely corrected.
Oh, I'm sorry, not market.
No, it has not.
No. Well, the real estate business has totally corrected. Realtors are down 40%. Lenders and title, they're down 50, 60%.
And that's not necessarily bad either.
It's not a bad thing.
The bar of entry to get here is so low that like the strongest survive and the strongest should survive, and it can afford to shed.
Yeah, we can afford to lose a lot of agents, a lot of lenders, a lot of title.
Part-timers, people who can't commit to it, people who, are not going to
don't know what they're doing. I mean, right. Frankly, like that's not just like new agents. There's a lot of agents who are super established. They're just tired. They want to do, they refuse to accept the new way to do this business, at least in the Philadelphia area. There's areas where like, it's no longer like a huge seller's market. But also like your lender should be understanding of what the current market is. They should be understanding of buyer psychology. They should be calling the listing agent when they place offers. They should be able to talk you off of a ledge when interest rates go up 1/8 of a point. And it's like, having all these people who are experienced and problem solve all day, every day is going to be invaluable to you throughout the process. You want to use your nephew who just got licensed. You want to use your aunt who, has been in the business for 45 years. Like you can do that, but just be sure that they know the tips and tricks.
And make sure you go back to the episode where we say about hiring family members as your agents.
Yeah.
That's a very good one.
We'll put that in the show notes because that was a good one too. The next one is a process, and it kind of goes back to how we started this thing. Guys, if you have an agent who doesn't have a process or any kind of checklist or anything to put in front of you, and it's all just this like, loose, like customized, quote unquote customized process, that's not going to be good for you in the long run. You want people who can work at a high level across many clients, because those are the people who have the experience. But also as an agent, as you get to a point where you're dealing with a lot of clients, this is just a natural evolution of a really good agent's business, is to have a system, because it's the only way you can kind of get everybody through the process in like a non-chaotic way. So I would push back very strongly on anybody who doesn't have checklists for you, does not have questionnaires. And the same thing for a lender. Like our lenders use like the latest software, the latest thing. And I'm telling you, you could shake our lenders awake in the middle of the night and they say the same thing. They ask the same questions because they are tried and true. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, there's going to be customization that takes place. Yes, there's going to be special considerations. If you're a vet or, you need to sell a house that's going to be really hard to sell. Like, yeah, okay, we can go outside the boundaries of like our processes, but for the most part, bringing you into the process is going to have a higher chance of success than some fully customized, off the cuff type.
And the processes haven't been made just willy-nilly. And they're not this like, oh, good in theory kind of thing. Like these have taken, like the ones that we've at least established, have taken like many team meetings together to sit down to like really, really think out and think of all of the like problems or things that we say or things that happen throughout a transaction and how to systemize it in the easiest way possible and take everything that we've done before.
And another side of it too is like, I came with a ton of input into those processes, and it came from me paying for access to masterminds of like really great agents doing shit all over the country who've already figured this out. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be this like, Seth Lejeune or SLG or Jenn Anuski, brainchild. It literally, I go out and I find the information. I bring best practices back to my clients and our clients. Mm-hmm. So I think that that is a huge piece. There's a lot of agents out there with no process at all. And then finally is the fourth one, which is the one, it's the emotional one, is the persistence piece. And I think that a lot of agents don't really get a solid picture in front of their client about how hard this can be. And realtors don't like to talk about how hard it is, and they don't like to talk about that it's going to be stressful. But I always tell my clients, and I think you do the same thing. Yep. We should expect 3-4 offers, man. And it's nobody's fault. It's just that you can't cut a house up into 15 pieces sometimes and give them to people. Sometimes it's just going to be trial and error.
That's like the offers that I had received over the weekend for my listing. I mean, two of them, it was the buyer's first offer that they had put out. Yeah. And I was talking to the agents and I was like, oh, and they were like, yeah, just it's okay. We expected it. And I said, this is where they start, this is the start of their learning curve. And I gave them as much feedback as I possibly could.
Yep.
To help them. I'm one who makes phone calls when we can't take somebody's offer instead of it's not persistence, but it's still that people emotional piece to it is, you don't want the buyer to find out on the internet before you get a chance to tell them. You don't want it to come across in a text message. You don't want it in an email. Talk to them. Give the buyer's agent a chance to ask questions as to why they did it.
And by the way, a great buyer's agent should ask, especially in those beginning phases with their new buyer, give me the feedback that I need to take back to my buyer to make our offer even more competitive. And I get my offers rejected and I'll just be like, dude, just lay it on me. Just tell me what. And most of the time I know, because I've already been having these conversations with the listing agent. I kind of know where the offer is going to land, but I know that I can't go beyond the bounds of what my people are comfortable with. Mm-hmm.
And I was able to use that time to talk, give them some advice and help them out and ask them hey, have you tried this? As I work with buyers, and this has actually helped me get my buyers to be able to feel more comfortable taking this leap and get their offers accepted faster. I said, but been there, I get it, but hopefully this works out. And I've sent them contacts for people to be able to help them. And
I usually will say listen, we should expect to have to put at least 3 to 5 offers in. If we get to a 6th offer, and actually probably a little bit before that, we're going to need to talk about what our offers are looking like, and we need to make an adjustment, whether it's geography, price, condition, or terms, or whatever. But I will sell whatever you give me. But if we get to 5-6 offers and we're not getting accepted based on our skill level and our ability to connect and put together offers, there's a missing piece.
Well, I'd say the more receptive you're going to be to hearing your agent out about what needs to be done to get your offer accepted. The offer I put out, it was our second or third offer we put out, and we got it accepted because she took my advice and she trusted me. I said, this is what it's going to take to get it. And we got it.
Which one is this?
Exeter.
You'll
get it.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I'm under contract right now.
Oh, well, and your client?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not our client.
No, it's my client.
Dude, I don't. I know the name of the street that you're under.
All right. Well, anyway, that's what happened, and she is the best, and I'm sure she'll be on that.
I have an intimate knowledge of every deal we've got going on.
We talk every single morning at 8:30 in the morning about everything we have going on.
And it's the first time Exeter's been brought up. Is it Butter Lane?
Yeah,
it's Butter Lane. Okay, I got it.
Anyway,
got it.
She listened. And she wanted her offer accepted. Yep. And
hey, let's talk about the people we're under contract with together. Mm-hmm. Now, that was a clinic in what we're talking about, which was they were really nervous. So outside of Philadelphia, there is a town called Phoenixville. It is very, very desirable. It is an amazing transformation that's happened there in 20. It's one of these revitalization, great stories of an old blue collar town that is completely turned over and gotten to be great. They were super worried about putting in an offer, and we have a couple of other areas that we were looking and we were thinking about putting in an offer because it's not quite as competitive. It's still competitive, it's not quite as competitive. And I said to them, listen, guys, if the property that you want props up in Phoenixville, it's you basically we're not going to go beyond what you're comfortable with, but you basically just have to do everything we tell you to do. Because it was so rare. Because we were working with them for I don't want this to scare people. It was 2 months and the property they wanted hadn't popped up. And they were like, okay, well, maybe we can, live in this place. But damn it, they didn't do exactly what we told them to do.
They sure did.
and that's how you get success. And that house, since they have gone under contract, has probably increased in value by $10,000 to $15,000, just because of the normal way things are going.
And that one was also an example of this doesn't fall under like what you said as far as people, but it's a contact sport. And we kind of talked about this in the last episode of that agent I told him, I said, do not accept anything else without calling me first.
Don't sign anything.
Don't say names. Well, don't you know, he held true to his word, and he did call me and say, like, you and another offer are like practically identical, and I'm gonna have this call with them too. That like I'll give you the opportunity to like for one of you to increase terms, whatever, try to get this.
And we threw the kitchen sink in after that too.
And we said, do you want to squeak out or do you want it?
Yeah. So what I call that is the moonshot. I said, if you want to just shut this down now, we go and we just do a moonshot offer. And it's like, I think we went up another 10 and 5 and like, so relative. Yeah. It was a
the other one went up with the 1% transfer tax. And then we just sent it and we said we want it.
Sent it, but then we did some other stuff too, and we were able to make ours stand apart, and it works. So,
and communication did not die even once with that agent.
No, and
my phone was glued to my face during my entire son's baseball game to get practice to get that done.
Yeah, and I actually, speaking of baseball, I missed like a part of my son's soccer game because I was here at my house. Talking them through because you were like on the phone with another client, and so that's why we partner, because we can. And I spent probably 35 minutes on the phone with them talking them through. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? What happens if this? What this? And they were asking all the right questions, but this was their first offer, so they didn't know some of the mechanics of it. But yeah, you did a great job with
their first offer.
They never put in another offer.
Oh my God, you're right.
They didn't put in another offer. And that's why I was joking. I was like, she wanted Phoenixville. Fuck, man, she got it.
Yeah.
And because she took our advice, she said, and I said, you just have to do like that house shows up. And I remember I sent you that listing and I'm like,
there it is.
That's it. Go get it. And we pulled all the stops, and they are so happy, and I'm happy for it.
They went our contract and said, okay, so now we have to pay for it.
Yeah, and that's fine, man. And they're good. They're going to be fine. They're financially, they're in good shape. No, but I was so excited about that because that's like, these two have done everything right. They want to start a family. They deserve a house. So It
also went from their starter home. So the conversation I had with them when we were there to tour it the first time was, okay, we had been looking for a starter home for you, but now this is going to be in a higher price range than what you had initially anticipated. But how long do you see yourself in this house versus what we had been seeing? And they said, no, this would definitely be like a 10+ year house now. And
yeah, we're going to see that a lot too, man. I think a lot of people are going to they're going to settle. They're going to hunker on houses that in 2015, it might've been a 3 to 5 year house. So they'll probably not be like a 7 to 9. Yeah. That's what all the statistics are showing. So, but no, so that's the 4 Ps.
Okay.
Eventually we'll be getting cameras ready and we'll be getting up in front of people and talking about this, filling ballrooms and filling chambers of commerce and that kind of stuff. So hope you guys found that helpful.
We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.